Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. So, in this session, I'm here with the SolidWorks assemblies and drafting. I'll consider this engine assembly into account and I'll take you through the basics of bottom-up assembly approach and assembly drafting, and then a slight basics of part modeling drafting, and then finally few basics of animations. These things we'll see here. Okay. So let's get started with this. Yeah, as you could see, this is the engine assembly and this is the animation which I had created. So now we'll try to do the same thing. Okay, so let me just browse the file. The first file I'll take it as an account, this one, the crankshaft. Okay, so you can start with the assembly template and simply close it. If you're a beginner, you can select any of the plane. First, I'll draw a reference sketch because I need to place these shaft on this. I'll draw it like this, a kind of triangle. This is 65 and this I'll take it as 97 for just my convenience. Okay, to just place these components exactly at the proper locations, I'm adding these references. Yep, so I'll add this particular shaft, simply drag and drop it inside the workbench. Okay, now it is free to move. I'll float it. The first component which you're going to bring inside the assembly workbench will be fixed, remember that. Okay, you can float it. Now I need to mate these two, that is the sketch and this. So you can simply select the origin of the sketch and this is the reference. As I said, I need to draw it on this axis. I need to place it right, so you can do it. So this circular face and this concentric, I need to flip this. The alignment is something different here. So what you can do is you can just use the mates drop down, right click on it instead of going to edit and just making the changes. Just use this flip alignment. These two faces coincident will make you place on that particular location. It has the circular DOF, degrees of freedom. Okay, rotational degrees of freedom. Now I need these two gears, select, drag and drop it. Now here just rotate your model. Also you can hold the alt and drag and drop it on the location. This is the shortcut. Okay, you can flip the direction, green check. Again hold the alt, drag it on this face, get the concentric. Okay, green check. Now it doesn't have the link between this crankshaft. What I'll do is I'll select the planes, the appropriate planes to mate it. This one and the gear, second gear, drop down, I'll use it. This one. So these two coincident. If I make, these will be locked with respect to the slot locking pin. It is there now. According to that, you will have the DOF, rotational DOF as well. Okay, you can rotate this model now on this point and this concentric so that it should be exactly at that axis. Now it can rotate. To avoid that, what you can do is you can select this face and this face coincident. This would be fine. Now the placement is fine. I just need to apply the rack and pinion mate so that I can have the proper gear mechanism, right? So to access the gear mates, you can go to the mates and mechanical mates. We have the gear mate. Okay, sorry, it's gear mate only directly, not the rack and pinion. Okay, automatically it will take the ratios and you could see it has the mechanism which we are looking for. Now next component, I'll drag and drop this one. This is the camshaft which has the cam profile. Hold the alt and drag and drop to the location. Again same thing, hold the control, sorry, it is alt and drag and drop here. Okay, now again I need to just lock the spin and the gear. I'll do the same thing, coincident mate. Okay, now this is fine. With respect to that, even the camshaft is also rotating, which exactly needed. Yep, so now I need the plane exactly at the center to align a few more components. So you can simply select these two faces. So exactly at the center of these two planes, the plane will be created. You can select that plane and I'll simply draw a reference, a line. Okay, just for my reference, later on you can change it. So with respect to the right plane, I'll draw a line, so which I'll use it to meet the other components. I'll showcase them. So I'll take this dimension as 15 and the length is 300 total, and this is quite approximate. You can take again one more at 200 and again 15. This is also like this. So fine, so these are the references. Now I'll use this component, that is the connecting rod and the so yep, so this is the connecting rod cover. These two concentric, and now these two faces coincident. Hold the control, select these two and just make the same thing. I need the mid width mate here, so you can do the same thing, or else coincident mate also will work here. So instead of assigning the width mate, or else alt drag and drop will also work. Now here it should be exactly at the center of this, again width mate, and now the concentric after this. So zoom out this face and this concentric. Okay, now we can check the degrees of freedom. This is fine. So next thing is to place the piston. I'll use the file explorer, that is SolidWorks file explorer, and I'll add these two and these two with mate. Okay, this is fine. And then I need the concentric mid between these two faces, so I'll do the same thing, select these two and concentric. Okay, now this is also fine. So next thing, this the moment is inappropriate, later I can adjust it. I need one more plane with respect to this line and this line. This should be perpendicular. Okay, why I had used this, I need to place two more component on that camshaft. For that, so you can simply just create one more 15 and can extend it outside. So I'll let you know why I need this. So this valve and wall spring retainer and the retainer, I need these three. Hold the control, select them and drag and drop it. Now assign the mates for these. This face and this face coincident, and then just check this inside circular face, and here I can refer this edge, that is concentric, and this face, not this one, this face coincident, and then finally again concentric. So I need one more assembly of this, so what I'll do is I'll just form a new sub assembly here. This is again a shortcut, so hold the control, drag and drop it. Now these two concentric, again these two concentric, isn't it? Yep, so this much is ready. Next thing is to add the sketch. As I said, this is a straight line. I'll refer it up to 300 and I'll draw a line up to 40. This line should be vertical. Now why I need this is to add the shaft. So again I'll rotate it, and this point and the circular face concentric, but still it is moving. To restrain this or constrain this, I'll refer this line and this one parallel. Along with that only it will move, isn't it? Yep. So next, this particular shaft should be exactly with respect to these two width mate. I'll assign the same thing, because I need to place oh, what are these? Let me just see. Yeah, rocker arm, it should be exactly at the symmetry. So now I'll rotate it. I need to copy one more, hold the control, drag it out. Done. So concentric, just hold the alt, drag it. Same thing here. Okay, these are the two shortcuts. Whenever you want you can use it, holding the control or holding the alt, drag and drop, it depends. Okay, whenever you feel that is okay, you can use it. So for me, I mostly use holding the control and selecting the required face and assigning the mates manually. So here what I can do is I can assign the tangent mate between these faces so that it can easily move, isn't it? I'll do the same thing here. Now this much is done. I'll align it. Next thing, I need the back components that I can simply drag and drop it. The rod I need, so this rod should attach to the cam. What I'll do is I need to orient them properly. That's the first thing I need to do. These two concentric, right? Yep. So again here I need the reference for this to move it properly. What I'll do is I'll simply edit this, double click, and from here I'll draw a straight line. Same thing this side, 15 and approximate height line. Exit Q shortcut here for me. I'd set it manually. This is concentric. The same thing, these two concentric. Now it will move the same direction. Now when it comes to the attachment to this rock arm, these two should be parallel. Okay, now they can move properly. Next thing, they should have the touch. To make that touch, what I can do is I'll select this face and this tangent. This will help me to have the attachment. Okay, here also I'll do the same thing. But you can observe the distance is quite more, right? So that I'll adjust later. Now this cam follower and cam, I'll go to the mates, mechanical. We have the cam mate. Select this face, cam path, and the follower is this. And the same thing for that one as well, that side. Yep, this is done. Now green check. Let's try to move it. This is moving properly, but the thing is this one, this piston doesn't align. So what I'll do is I'll select this face and this face parallel. Now this will have the, but still, let me see. Yeah, so if I define the axis for this, will it work? No. What I can do is I'll use this plane exactly at the center and this particular piston plane. which is here. These two planes, if they orient properly, it will move along the same y-axis. So this will give me the required mechanism, right? Yep. Now everything fine here. Now the thing is the alignment of this. For that, I'll simply try to edit this length of this particular triangle. I'll delete this, and here I'll add the 65 to 69. This I'll make it 97 at the moment. Now let's see. Yep, the orientation is fine now, no issues with that. Yep, so finally the assembly is ready. What I can do here is I'll hide all the unwanted sketches. So hold the control, select everything, right click and hide. And now I need to create the animation. So I'll showcase the basics of animation. You can switch to this motion study. We have the motor. Okay, so for this I'll add the motor mechanism. I'll reverse the direction, and here 100 rpm will consider by default, no need to worry. So once you do that, simply calculate it and run it. So this is a simple one, right? The frame I'll increase it to 120. So what it does is it will give me the 120 frames per second, so which it will have the better animation with high pixels in particular seconds, right? Yeah. So now here I'll showcase few things. So if you want to make the advanced changes into the motor and the animation, you can copy these actors. Okay, you can simply drag and drop them wherever you want. I need one more copy. You can double click and change it. Let's say initially I want it to be 50 rpm. At 2 seconds it should be like 100 rpm, and at 5 seconds it should attain 200 rpm. Okay, let's consider these are the requirement and just run it. You'll get the same thing if you calculate the study. So now along with this, I need the orientation animation as well. You can even manually set each and every animations. So here you can disable this view key creation. So for now what I'll do is I'll use them because I need them. I'll create a copy of it. Hold the control, drag and drop it. At 1 second I'll simply rotate the model, and you just update the key, right click and replace key. Okay, and now I'll again do the same thing. I'll copy, I'll rotate like this, just replace the key. Okay, same thing here. I want the top view like this, replace it. Now what it does is if you play it according to your positioning, the animation will be created. The same thing, you can use particular component, you can drag and drop it. If you didn't assign the mates and all, it will create the animation. Now the drafting part, the assembly drafting, it's quite simple. We have the view palette. It will give all the default views. You can simply drag and drop it. Right now I'm using the isometric view. You can increase the scale to 1:2. 2 is fine. 1:1 is big, so 1:2 is fine. So I'll change the display style, and then I'll simply refresh. Sometimes it will not load. I need the front, right, as well as the top view. Yeah, so now here you can use the custom scaling option. You can just change only for these. Okay, and now for this I need the bomb to be generated, even the ballooning. I'll select the auto balloon option. So here we have the advanced options to place the balloon. So I'll use this option, so it should be at the left, aligned properly like this. Can even have the magnetic lines and all, but I need the bomb for these all the components. You can place it like this. Okay, can even have the preview for the shop logo guys. You can create the Excel out of it. Now let's say if you want to add the extra columns and properties here, like the mass and the material used, you can right click and insert column at the right and from here. But here we don't have the mass and all the things. What to do with this? So to have the mass or costings and everything, you need to customize the file properties of the components. So while creating any of the things, you can customize your properties. So let's say I'll open this particular piston head. I'll apply the material, okay, for my convenience. So how to update the material and mass and all into the assembly bomb? No, I'm just showing the same thing. So let's say sometimes you won't have the file properties on the desktop on the top. You can simply search it, drag and drop it here on the menu bar to use it later. Remember that if it is not available, you can do that. Now in the custom, I need the material, so you can add it. So next I need the mass, that is weight. You can simply select it from here. The drop down, it is just below the material, we have it. The expression here, it is material, okay, here it is mass. So you can have the evaluated value, plain carbon steel and the weight with respect to the mmgs unit system. Now that is applied, right? Now let's see how the component drafting needs to be done. So you can simply select any of the page format, and I'll use the uh, front view first and the right view at the bottom. So this is first angle projection. You can just change the appearance here. This is the bottom view. I'll just delete that. I'll use the projected view, drag it up. Here the top view, simply drag and drop it here. Okay, so now I need the section view. You can just select the section view, align it properly. I don't want this particular font. You can use the empathize outline, and you can even add the scale hatch patterns as well if needed. Okay, I'll remove this font. If you want, you can customize the size and all the font, everything in the document properties. I'll showcase later. And now I want to assign the dimensions, auto dimensioning. So I want to retrieve all the dimensions and the whole properties. Simply select all the dimension, auto arrange. This tool will help you to auto arrange all the dimensions like this. You can delete the dimensions which and all you don't want. These are the default dimensions. It will be extracted file, like what and all the things you have done while designing this particular model. The history will be captured, and according to that, all the dimension it will give. So according to the standards and the requirement, you can simply delete the dimensions which and all not needed. Okay, now here let's say I want to customize this smart dimension. If you want to add the extra dimension, you can simply select that and you can do it. You can add the manual dimensions as well. Yeah, now detail view, at this location I want, you can simply select the area of the portion which you want to show the detailed view. You can simply drag and drop it. No outline, and with outline you could see, and side outline. So there are different options you can add it. Even you can use the break view and all. Okay, this is just a glimpse. You can simply delete this font, I don't want that. You can later on customize it. Now when it comes to the dimensions and the alignment, what I'll do is I'll go to the document properties. From the options and document properties, we have the annotations. You can change the note font from here. The standard is ISO only. And when it comes to the dimension, for radius I'll change the actor alignment to this, and here for the diameter also I'll change it. Okay, same thing, you can change it for each and every dimension whenever you're dragging up and adding the dimensions. So here you can customize it. Okay, when it comes to the notes, I want to just make the changes in the font because the font size is too big. The regular is 3.5 the unit, so I can take it 1.5. and now you could see all the radius and diameter got the vent actors. So now I want the note. For this I'll just type it as detailed view. Okay, and then I'll place it somewhere here. I'll drag and drop it, and now I need a copy of the detail view so that I can just add it to the section view as well. You can simply copy this and drag and drop it here, and you can simply name it. Just remember, as you have copied, it has the link with the detail view, so whenever you want to move it, even both the annotations will move. Now I'll showcase how to deal with the layers here. So right click from the toolbars, you can activate this line format. You can create the different types of layer using the layer properties. So we have default only the format. I'll add new layer as dim. For the dimension, I'll change the color to blue. Okay, and I would like to add one more layer for the text. I would like to have the red color. So these are the default layers which I had. Now you can select all the dimension, change to dim, and all the dimensions will be in blue. The layer got changed, but only these fonts I want them into the different layer, that is text. Could see it is in black. Okay, so this is how I can just create the part drafting. Once this is done, let me just go back to the assembly drafting and showcase how to update the material here. So we had customized our template in the part now, so it should appear here, right? So you can simply delete or you can simply add the properties here. Can you see the material and the weight got additionally added? So if you want to change the previously added custom things, you can just use the drop down and add it, weight and material, like this. If you want to share this to the shop floor guys or the vendors with the images, so we have this advanced Excel export format, and the thumbnail adding will help you to add all the images so that the shop floor guys and other people can easily understand which component and how many components with respect to the images as well, to get the preview of the models. Easy identification, isn't it? Yep. So this is how you can just deal with this particular like SolidWorks assemblies, the bottom up assembly approach, and the basics of animation, and the assembly drafting, and the basics of component drafting we have seen. So I hope you got to know about the shortcuts and the basics of these all the things. So if you have any questions, or if you want something to be added, or if you feel like there should be some other contents to be needed, you can directly reach me out anytime. You can comment us. Okay, so if you feel that this video is helpful for you, please don't forget to subscribe our channel. Well, that's all about this session, guys. Thank you, stay tuned, bye everyone.